10 o'clock, all y'all. That's Lancaster Woodturners Weekly Coffee Hour for Pi Day, Thursday, March 14th, 3.14 day. That ought to be meaningful to all you all-round guy woodturners. But I don't know. We ever never really calculate diameter and try and relate it to circumference very much. But anyway, it is Pi Day today. Let me see. Club events. Next Lancaster meeting is April 2, I think. Let me get my calendar out for sure. Yeah, April 2. That's when we want all the Amtrak stuff to show up at the workspace as well, so we can organize the display before we have to install it. Barry built the boxes, and Rick Atkins is painting them, so we're on a roll here. And people out from out of town have been UPSing their stuff to me. I've got 3 people's stuff here today, 4 people's stuff here today. So anybody else who's participating in this who wants to get their stuff to me without showing up at the meeting, just drop it off here or UPS it to me. I don't know. Anybody else got announcements? I don't see no hands up. Anybody got any show and tell they want to do today? I'll tell you what I've been doing in my shop. I have 25 or I had about 40 boxes of books left from the last time I moved, which was 10 years ago. And I need some papers out of one of them, and I don't know which one it is. So my granddaughter's here visiting, and we decided to go through the boxes of books, and we're sorting them into old inventory that can go to Linden Books in Fresno, and he can sell it. Books for the library book sale, garbage, and books I want to keep. And it's it's about a third of my total books down there, but it's quite the nightmare. Some of the boxes got wet, and some of the books are moldy, and it's. I'm really glad my granddaughter's here. She's a real help. She's a college senior on spring break. So that's my story today. I'm sticking to it. I got my harmonograph is finished and working, but I'm not ready to show it yet. But that's coming. So who's gonna entertain us this morning? Mike Peace, what do you got?
Well, I've got another practice piece as I'm working on my wood carving embellishing technique. And this one I thought I would try put some dye on the surface and see how well I could cut through it.
What kind of dye are you using?
I'm using the Chroma Craft, same stuff that Nick Agar uses. And what I like about it is it's pre-mixed. A bottle, I'll show you the size of the bottle. It costs more probably per gallon than Trans-Tint, but I figured one of these bottles will still be in your estate sale when you get it. But what I like about it, it's alcohol based, and it's got 10% shellac, which kind of helps, I guess, seal it, and it dries real quick.
And can you like mix them and dilute them and things like that?
You could mix them. I think, like most people, Toby would be the expert on that. Probably mixing it in place on the piece, where you dab something in and sand it back, and rub another color in. Yeah.
You could also dilute that, couldn't you, with a little more
alcohol? You probably could. I don't know that. I don't know. It seems like a lot of trouble to try to dilute it out. If I'm going to go that trouble, I'd probably use Trans-Tint.
Okay. I guess I have to lay in some dyes. I'm going to have to. You guys are persuaded me. I need to try it.
But check out Chroma Craft. You can get a pack of these things. There's like 7 or 8 bottles of the, all the major colors. There's a place in not too far from where Nick Agar has his place, by Bradley McAllister. I think I've got his sticker. It's called Spira. He's one of the dealers. There's other people who sell it, but Spira Craft. He's a small dealer in Metter, Georgia.
Yeah, he comes to the Mid-Atlantic sometimes, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw
him.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions for Mike? Comments for Mike? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Toby Bouder, what do you have today? I bet you got some good work to show us.
Well, I have some here. If I can get the right screen up.
The rest of you all, if you're hanging back and wanting to show us some work, this is a good morning to do it.
Okay, this is a piece you got. Everybody seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a cherry burl, 8 by 5 inches. Different views.
Is that color?
This was no, this is natural color.
I bet you had ants crawling out of that one, didn't you?
I'm not sure this one, but I picked up a couple pieces that were laying in a farmer's field for quite a while, and the outside was deteriorated, but the inside was still solid, so made a nice piece.
I guess when it's deteriorated like that and you can't get a really smooth sanding surface, you're not going to get as good a dye finish, right?
Well, it would die okay on the inside there. It was just the rim here that was
Okay.
deteriorated. Yeah.
Nice piece of wood.
This one I did dye. This is box elder.
I can see that.
Has an interesting shape to it. Kind of opens up and lets you reach in or look in at least to what's in the inside.
I kind of like that. What does it look like down on the inside?
I do have a shot, I believe. You can't really tell the angle on that, but that's looking straight down to the bottom of it.
Okay. That's a pretty nice piece.
That's the very bottom.
That's a very nice piece. I now talk about that. Like that's the go back a second to that one. That's the beautiful flame figure, the feather figure that everybody looks for. Did that show up inside the bowl or only on the bottom of the bowl?
This is the inside, so you do see it down in the bottom here.
Okay, so like,
It does look better on the outside.
did you cut the wood for that in order to try and get that figure into the bottom of the bowl, or did that just happen that way, or what? Talk about it a bit.
It pretty much just happened that way. I was mostly concerned about getting a nice natural edge here, and
Okay.
I knew it had figure all around somewhere, so I just put it on there and turned it. Wasn't sure exactly what was going to show up.
It's pretty nice anyhow.
You know, until you get inside of it, you don't know.
Go on to the next one
So
now.
this is the piece.
There.
Yeah. This is the piece that I demoed at the Lancaster meeting.
And what is the wood, and is that dyed?
This is dyed, and it's a Kentucky coffee tree. And it had the bark on it when I did the demo, but as it dried, the bark lifted up, and it would lift it up so much that if I tried to push it down, it would crack. So I decided to just take all the bark off of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. What I thought I should show the demo piece, since I took the time to show everybody how it was made.
It's a nice piece. Nice piece of wood. I love the color in that.
It turns out nice. I like the way the dye changes the look of it quite a bit, and still leaves the natural color in there.
How does it change it quite a bit? I don't remember what it was like when it was on the lathe.
It was mostly just two shades of this tan color, just a light tan and a dark tan.
Okay.
But by giving the light color tan this green, it gives it more contrast.
Good stuff.
What is the finish on there, that gloss that you used?
It's what I used showed at the demo. It's the Krylon triple thick acrylic spray,
Okay.
which I use on most of my glossy pieces because it works easy for me, and people like the shine.
How many coats do you spray on?
It depends on what kind of wood you have. Some of it soaks in pretty good. I usually put one coat on, just a light coat, and then let that dry to kind of seal it as much as possible. Because if you keep putting it on wet, it'll just keep soaking in, and you're just wasting your finish. So I put one coat on light, let that dry, and then another coat on, and then see how much that soaks in yet, and let that dry completely. And then sometimes certain pieces I might put 3 or 4 coats on, but most of them 3 coats.
Do you ever sand or buff the top coat?
I do buff the top. Yeah, sometimes I'll sand in between because little bubbles come out sometimes and give it a rough finish. And then I take one of those 3M pads and just rub them flat until it put the next coat on.
Okay,
And then at the end, I'll buff it with the Bleil.
What's your setup for spraying? Do you do it outside? Do you have a little turntable? Do you have a spray booth? What do you do?
I have it on the steps that go to my second floor loft. It's just on the bottom step. Well, maybe the third step up. And it's a little turntable with some screws sticking up, 3 screws that I can put the bottom, set it on. And just quick spray and, spin it around. And that's my area.
So you
Right
do it
inside
outside.
the shop.
You do
No,
it
it's
outside.
right inside the shop.
Yeah.
Inside, yeah.
Inside. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But the fumes, since it's under the stairwell there, the fumes pretty much go up to the upstairs and don't really get into to where I breathe it in the shop.
So what's upstairs?
A bunch of storage junk.
That's an unusual color for you.
Yes, it is. It's a very red one. I have 1 or 2 people who really like red, so every once in a while I make a red piece to make them happy. This is a piece of maple. It had some nice figure in the back here.
So you have people who collect your stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny how that happens. Some people have like 30 or 40 pieces of mine. It's weird.
Well, okay. So somebody who's a serious collector, how often can you sell them a new piece?
I guess it depends on the mood, but I have one lady that she'll see my stuff on Facebook and she'll say, okay, I want that one. Then a week or 2 later, she said, put that one on my list. So I hold them back for her. And then when I get enough, I'll go visit her, but I'll take like 10 more along and she'll pick 3 or 4 more from the new stuff that I have.
What does she do with them?
She puts them in her cabin, decorates her cabin with them. She took, I went there one time and like I said, she has 30 or 40 pieces. She showed me all of them.
She uses them.
Wow.
Yeah, she uses them too. She uses them for her food and everything.
Wow.
Oh, let me move on here. Different views of that maple piece.
I always love seeing your stuff. Nice shape on that one too. And on this one.
Yeah, this one, I don't know what kind of wood this is. This was like a specimen tree in someone's yard and they had it cut down and I was driving by and they had the wood sitting at the curb. So I picked it up and it's very, very dense. I have no idea what kind of wood it is. The leaves were kind of oval shaped and it had strings of green berries on it. I don't know what, I guess it was maybe some kind of a Japanese tree or something.
Huh.
But it had some interesting figure around there too. I always try to pick pieces that have this figure in it because I know when I dye it, it's gonna make it show a lot more than it normally would.
Do you do multi-layer dyeing or just single application dyeing?
Well, this piece I'll probably put either blue or yellow on first, and then I put the other color over top of it after the first coat dried. And it's a little bit of a guessing game to know what shade is going to actually come out, but that's part of the fun for me.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I have here.
All right. Any more questions for Toby? I'm going to pull the spotlight off you because you'll still show up in speaker view. Thank you very much, Toby. Nice show.
Yep.
It looks like you're up next, Sherry.
All right. Well, I don't have anything overly exciting, but I made a couple of little practice platters, let's call them little mini platters. And what I was practicing was trying to, oh, sorry, I should try and get that background off. Remind me, how do I do that?
If you go to your video, the little caret beside the video camera in the lower left of the screen.
Okay, got it. Thanks. So I was trying to practice the notion of the ogee shape. And
Okay, so turn it so we can see that.
and oh, sorry. I guess
There you go.
that's the way you need it, right?
Yeah.
And then just colored the rim.
The wood is, so the white is the wood.
The white is the wood, exactly.
And the
and
rim
it's-
is the dye.
Yeah, it's figured maple, and I haven't put a final finish, a glossy finish or on anything on it, but I was practicing, so I made two. One is sort of the red color, and the other is sort of an orange color, because I was trying to get sort of the you know, I like autumn colors.
Well, how do you hold that tight, sharp line where the die ends? What do you do there?
Yeah, that was the trick. So
Do
when
tell.
when I have it on the lathe, I turn I don't turn this part. So I turn a little wider maybe, then I apply the color, and then I turn that.
So you put the color on the lathe.
Yes, put the
Got
color
it.
on the lathe, and then you can get a really nice crisp line, and you don't, because if you use those alcohol-based dyes, they're quite thin, and the end grain and some of the grains will wick up the color, and so it kind of bleeds into the white. So if you, yeah, as I said, if you just turn initially make the rim a little wider than you want, and then do a nice sharp cut, and then it takes care of all that.
Can we see the back of the plate again, please? So that's you're using expanding your chuck into that recess, yeah?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're dyeing the outside and over the top of the rim, and then the white wood shows up. I see. When I first saw that, I thought the red color was the color of the wood,
Oh,
and the white was the dye.
Oh, wouldn't that be fancy? No.
That's a very nice ogee shape. Sherry, do you have a particular technique how you get the ogee shape? Is there a formula that you use, or you just wing it?
No, I've been practicing. So I watched a YouTube video that Jimmy Clues did, and he also had a handout. And so it's taken me months. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, but yeah, it's a little technical. But once you understand kind of the little formula, I got two more pieces on the lathe that I'm practicing with, and I think I have it now. So
What do you mean for? Do you mean for the shape of the shape of that curve?
Yes. So in order to get the shape correct, so what I initially do is I measure the diameter of the workpiece, and then I measure 1/3, and so I always make the let's call it the foot ring. The little foot ring is always 1/3 of the diameter of the workpiece. And then this part where you chuck up can be whatever you want. And then I measure from the edge of the foot ring to the rim, and you kind of divide that area in half. And then that's the transition point where it goes from the convex to the concave.
Now, are you doing this with rulers and calipers, or are you doing it by eye?
I just have a little plastic ruler, and I've migrated to metric because math is not my strong point. And I'm fractionally challenged and a little dyslexic. So it's, I've migrated to metric, and it seems to be working a lot better for me. And then I just have some colored pencils so I don't get the lines mixed up.
I would have thought you would make a shape like that purely by eye, actually.
Yeah, you would think that, but it doesn't happen for me.
I think that's a very hard way to do it, unless Jimmy Clues maybe, where you've done 1,000 of them. I think it's a hard shape to nail, and I think you almost have to use a formula. I haven't gotten it down yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sherry, what diameter did you say those plates are?
They're maybe 9 inches. So
Okay.
yeah.
So could you hold it up again, please, Sherry? I'm getting a little confused about what the actual shape is. What I'm seeing is the bottom shape is very different from the top shape.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm getting suddenly. Yeah.
Yeah. So the bottom is the ogee, and then the top, this rim part is not, it's not perfectly flat either. It's got a bit of a crown on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then again, this is just kind of a sharp, and it's not terribly deep, but I like the contrast. And again, I'm practicing trying to trying to get some more pleasing form. And yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the things I often think that one of the reasons people paint work is that their form is lousy, you know. They're trying to disguise the fact that it doesn't have a good line. But maybe
perhaps.
that's just me because I don't paint work.
Barry, since you were taking your tips from Jimmy Clues, does that mean that you were spending that at about 45 million RPM or what?
Yeah, I dial it down a little from where Jimmy turns.
What's the diameter? What's the thickness of the blank when you make those plates?
About an inch.
So they're really not very thick at all in the end.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions for Sherry? Terrific work. All right,
Thanks.
going to shovel along here. Randy.
Well, Sunday or this week, the Susquehanna Woodturners did a demonstration by Troy of a skew work, and he showed how to make beads and coves. And next month is going to be a hands-on sharpening. So everyone who's coming to the Susquehanna Woodturners meeting in person, bring your grinder, bring your tools, and we'll do sharpening. And I missed last week's Sunday coffee clutch because I was away. And can you guess where I was?
Looks like the Matterhorn.
No, Vail, Colorado.
Vail, Colorado. Is it?
It didn't. I don't think it worked when I switched cameras here. Okay, let me try again. Nope. It just keeps going to the Matterhorn.
Where were you?
I was in
Vail, Colorado. Yeah.
unfortunately, it was great skiing. It's been about 2 feet while we were there the week. I was happy to be leaving on Saturday because everybody showed up.
Yeah.
There was a line on Interstate 70 that was about 5 or 6 miles long. So, in any case, next month our meeting topic is sharpening. Everyone who comes is invited to bring their grinder with them, and there's any kind of jigs they use to do sharpening, and we're going to do sharpening.
Okay. I think that the next Lancaster meeting, I think Mike Peace is the demo. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct. I'll be showing how to turn a chess set, I believe.
And you're going to do that remote as a remote demo.
That's correct.
That's on April 2. Okay.
Hey, Randy, when you do the sharpening demo, I put together a lot of notes on sharpening that's available to anybody for use for free. And I'll send you a link to it, but it's just the sharpening handbook. And it's got a lot of stuff about sharpening wood turning tools, among other things. So it may be useful for you.
Rich, can you just put it in the chat?
Will do.
Chat link.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
It's
That would
funny.
be great.
Then I can get it too. Yeah.
It's funny that sharpening is coming up because our last meeting in Nittany Valley Woodturners was sharpening. So it seems like spring means sharpening.
Well, we have quite a few new turners in our group, and so we're trying to get them started on the right foot.
It makes me think we should do something similar in Lancaster because we have a bunch of new turners as well. And when I've been doing a little, I don't know, hand holding, I think is more the right word. And sharpening is an issue for everybody. Yeah.
After our meeting, we actually had a lot of people go over to a person who conducted class. They went over to his place and had more sharpening. So it was extended sharpening class.
As a bit of an aside, probably 8 or 9 years ago, Sorby came out with their Pro Edge, and they were going to do a demonstration of it by a Sorby rep in in at the Woodcraft in Harrisburg, and I was terrible at sharpening skews. So they said, bring your tools in and we'll sharpen them. So I took my one large skew in and I handed it to the guy and he looked at it and he said, oh my.
How bad off was it?
He did a good job on it, but it was not pretty. It had more faucets in it than a diamond.
Over to you, Bert. What do you got? You're muted, Bert.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so this is Mike. We were talking a while back about making little birds, and I gotta share. Let's see what's happening here. I got a thing saying to unmute. Okay, I gotta try this again. I'm gonna share screen, and yeah, Mike, we were talking about making the miniature birds, and I watched your videos on lots of the different birds. And I thought, I got to find a way to make all the birds the right size for the miniature birdhouses. And so I figured, well, I should get a set of calipers that would do it. That way,
we're not seeing your share yet. If you think we are.
That's right. But this is my lead-in. I had to do a lead-in because if I showed it to you, they would take away from everything I'm going to say, and I like to hear myself talk. Anyway, here's what I came up with, Mike, and let me know whether or not you think it'll work. Can you guys see that?
That's a good one.
What did you make those out of, or is that a Photoshop trick?
No, that's actually Stu and I were talking about something about it, and he found these somewhere. His son found them. I guess they're 48-inch calipers that were used in the oil field for something, and he just couldn't resist. I make miniature birds on my 24-inch lathe, and he thought I should have an appropriate size set of calipers for testing the miniature birds.
You have barely enough space to get them into your shop from the look of it.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, that one was for you, Mike.
That's a good one.
That's all I got.
That's it for you. Okay, you can take the spotlight off you. George, you got it now.
Okay, I got bored a couple of while back. So here's my
Turn it around a bit. Yeah, good.
of a worm. Grandkids have a great time with it.
What wood is that?
I think it's ash.
And is it paint? Is that paint on both sides, inside and out?
Yeah, it's all paint.
All paint. Nice piece. Very funny piece.
Yeah, but
That's a very big fishing lure.
yeah, it's a worm.
Yeah.
For big fish.
It's a worm from the Dune movie. Questions for George? Okay,
Grandkids love it.
I'm sure they do.
Whimsical pieces are fun.
Yeah.
Yep, make sure you keep it and give it to them someday.
Is that it from you?
That's it.
Okay, Don Smith.
Hello, good afternoon. I think I'm running half an hour behind you. Have your clocks gone forward?
Yeah, it's 10:30 in the morning here.
Yeah, I've missed.
Went forward an hour.
Yeah, I missed the first half. It's only a
Ah.
couple of things over here. I don't know. Do you have Mothering Sunday over there?
Have what?
Mothering Sunday.
You mean
Mother's Day.
May
We call
12th.
it Mothering Sunday, Mother's
Yeah.
Day. Well, my daughter gave my wife a couple of bouquets in silk flowers. So I went out and I made a couple of little vases.
Nice little vase. You didn't make the flowers though.
No, my daughter got those or made those. They're silk flowers.
Okay.
And that's a small one. And then I made another one.
I like the first one better. Yeah.
What
like
wood
it.
are you using there, Don?
American cherry. On both of them.
That looks like our cherry, yeah. What do you
Yeah,
have to pay
American
for what
cherry.
you call American cherry, or does somebody grow it?
Yeah. But the difference in sizes is what I was showing you.
They're very nice. Did you, when you say American cherry, is that would you buy?
Yeah, that's what's on the label when you buy the timber. It said American cherry.
What do you pay for it?
When I bought that piece, it was 2 foot long, 3 inches square, and it was £3.50.
Okay.
That's about what, $4?
Yeah. You'd probably be paying less than we would.
Well, yeah, it's whether it come over from the States or whether it's grown over here, because we heard yesterday that we have more of the giant redwoods in this country than you have in Yosemite.
You might be right about that. We also here in Pennsylvania actually have several varieties of cherry in the forest, and so it's and it takes quite a while to learn to tell them apart. But one of them is more yellow than the other, and one's harder than the other, and like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. It's just a couple of things.
Okay.
Not realizing I was half an hour late.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you. Roger, what are you going to show us today? I haven't heard from you for a while.
Let me see if I can pull this up. You guys have that bird?
We got it. Now that looks
So
like
I
one of
have-
those multi-axis things, yeah?
That's right. I've been playing around a little bit with multi-axis and having some fun with that. So this was the first thing I did, this little bird. Nothing real difficult, but it came out pretty good, and my wife loves it, so that's important. So, and here's another one that came out. This is maple on the top and a maple base and mahogany for the center. But obviously
that's 3 pieces glued up, yeah?
that is correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So yeah, I was pleased with this one. We had the president's challenge for our club was multi-axis for our last meeting. So that's the reason I put these together. Here's another one done the same way. This is maple and walnut on the top and the bottom.
When you say done the same way, now talk us through that. How many centers are you using on that? Are you using one of those chucks from Escalon or what?
No, this one is just held between center to center. And then when you mark the ends, I went from number 1 on one side to number 2 on the other side and turned it completely with that. And then come back and did these on the center axis again. So really only 2 different axes to turn that.
2 axes, okay. And how big was the blank, and how much of it is left?
This, it was probably started to be about maybe an inch and a half, between an inch and a half and 2 inches in diameter when I started. And it's probably about, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch now.
Yeah.
So Roger, you glued those pieces of wood together before you turned it, or you put them together after you turned 3 pieces?
After I turn a tenon on each end of this multi-axis piece. And then glue them in after it's done. And this was actually the second one. This didn't come out the way I originally planned it, but I guess it's okay. You can see that was done a little different, and this was done on 3 different axes, center to center, then 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. And that's pretty tall, but that's out of red oak. I just happened to have that around from an old chair leg, so that's what I used.
And that gives you those flat ribbony shapes, doesn't it?
That is correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all the multi-axis. This is just a little box elder. So a couple of them I turned, and there's an urn.
Slow down. You're going racing too fast through there. Let's see those pieces. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's box elder. hollow vessel. That's probably about 8 inches tall or so.
Nice, simple shape. Appreciating that.
Another out of the same box elder log, a vase that's probably about 8 inches tall as well. And I recently was asked to turn a couple urns for some friends of ours, and I just happen to have a picture of one of them in this deck. So obviously cherry, and this is a segmented piece of walnut in here with a walnut lid. Then
How tall is that?
that's about 11.5 inches tall.
So it's not a whole body urn, it's a partial.
That's correct. I turned these in 2 pieces and then glued this between them.
Yeah.
And then the lid is on with a brass fitting, so it screws on with a brass fitting.
Nice.
And
Carry it over somewhere.
that's all I've got.
Okay.
So,
Any questions for Roger? All right. Got an open floor here. Oh, Vasko, what do you have today?
Yeah, since it's an open floor, thought I'd show you this little thing. I showed this a couple weeks ago. It was just a little piece that there was a bunch of, I got it from a friend, and I looked at it and went, I can do better. So I was okay with that. So I tried to center the bottom of these a little bit better. So I had another piece of it. So what I did is I came up with this one.
Nice. And you got it set perfect.
Shape a little. I was working more on shape and design. It's just one of those little cups that just feels good. It has the right balance. It has the right thickness. It didn't come out quite perfect. It's about 30 seconds off. I didn't get this side as good as this side. So I learned a little lesson there, but it was just something that I wanted to do a little bit better than what I had done before. So I was really happy. If you compare and contrast, you can see the difference. First try, second try.
And the 2 woods are walnut and what? Is that cherry?
It looks like ash. I'm not sure what they are for sure, but it looks like ash.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Questions for Ken? Okay, I see Michael Zehr's on here today, and Michael had a real struggle trying to share at our club meeting last week. You want to try it again here now, Michael, if you're there?
Give me a second.
You there?
I'm having trouble here.
Okay. If you get your picture of camera up, let's give it a try again, because we were looking to see that work here. You were trying to show us.
Okay. Am I there?
Yeah, we see your face. Looks like
Okay.
you're on your phone.
What I was going to show for the inlay was my for the wood turners. The inlay.
Okay, that's a nice piece. That's the one you're putting in the show, right? Yeah.
Right. I was trying to show that for the inlay for the project for the month.
That's really nice.
Walnut and maple.
How'd you do that?
Jake from my bandsaw. I took the blank and I cut the veneer, the thickness of the curve of the saw blade, and I cut that on an arc, glued that in, and then rotated it.
Cut it again.
And 90 degrees, and did it again after. And one of the lessons I learned when I did that was that before you actually make the cut, you drill 2 1/4-inch holes in the center, and so that you can a dowel in there to line perfectly.
Oh yeah, a good idea. Yeah. That's really nice work. That's a beautiful piece. I'm looking forward to seeing that in the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. Jack Kapp.
Yeah, I've got a walnut crotch.
Did you turn that lately, or did you turn that a long time ago?
No, just lately.
Nice piece. Hold still. Yeah, good. Hold it closer to your face. We'll see it a little better if you get a, yeah, that's a little better. Let's see the inside again, please. Yeah. Nice work, Jack. How long have you been turning?
Oh, probably about 15 years. I'll never
gonna-
get as good as the rest of you, but
I thought maybe it was like more like 50 years.
no, I've been fooling with wood ever since I was 6 years old. I got my first set of tools when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I still have some of the pieces.
You might want to show us those one day. We'd like to see that.
This walnut bowl I'm going to take to a silent auction in November. It's for a church camp, and I've been doing that for about 12 years, and I really enjoy doing it.
It's a nice looking piece. Thanks for showing us.
Thank you.
Questions for Jack? Okay, Kai. I bet you have a slideshow.
Yes, I've got a slideshow, but I didn't prepare it for today, so it is in German. I'll try to do the comments in English.
Yeah,
normally if I do a slideshow and have titles in English, that helps me a bit with the words that I need, but I'll try anyway. So maybe you can help me out if I don't know a word.
We'll do our best.
So, okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I just have to move it and start it.
There you
Okay. Oh, sorry. There it is. Yeah, I had a wood storage problem lately. I used the basement of my mother-in-law's house to store a lot of wood, but unfortunately the old lady died aged 100 years last year. So the house is going to be sold this year, and I'm moving out the wood and sorting through it, which is not easy because I can't part with pieces of wood that I have collected. So I like to keep everything, but I can't keep everything. And I had to find some storage in our house, and next to my workshop there's a little room that was going to be a bathroom, but we don't need it at the moment as a bathroom, so I took that over for wood storage. Okay, that's what it looks like now. On the left-hand side, there are storage shelves that I bought long time ago from IKEA. Do you have IKEA in the United States?
We sure do. We know all about IKEA, yeah.
Yeah. And they had these nice kind of solid basement storage shelves that you can see here on the left-hand side. And I wanted to buy some more for the opposite side of the room, but they don't sell this quality anymore. The ones they sell nowadays are not that kind of solid, stable anymore. And as I wanted to put lots of wood in there, I thought, okay, then you have to build something yourself. And that's what I ended up with on the right-hand side. And I have some photos of how I made these. So first I made the shelves.
And what's the dimension on those shelves?
Oh, good question. About 3 feet, 4 feet long, or 3.5 feet long.
And how wide, how deep?
And about a foot wide.
So you couldn't buy material for that, you had to glue it up.
Well, I could have bought material and then I could have cut it to the right size, but I had a lot of boards that I collected over the years from parts of furniture and whatever. And so I thought I might as well use these to give me some more space for storing other things. So it was a good way to use some of the collected wood I had, and I didn't have to buy anything. that was all kind of lying around or standing around in the house.
I do the same. I bought a load of walnut at an auction years ago, so I use it for utility shelving because it's the cheapest material I have.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that had all been in my workshop and attic and wherever already, so I thought a good chance to make use of it, and that's why I had to put pieces together to get the right size, because they were not all wide enough. So I used lamello on the left hand side, these flat connectors.
Yep,
and
we call them biscuit joints, and we have lamello machines here too.
Yeah, Lamello was the first company that came up with these in Germany, so that's why we call them lamellos. But yeah. Okay.
I learned about them when Lamello was the only machine company that made them, and so I call them that too. But now everybody makes one, so they call them biscuits.
Yeah, biscuit or Flachdübel actually is the general term in German, flat connector or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then gluing up on the right hand side, and then I drilled the boards. I made a little kind of jig for that, so to space the holes in the same way with all the boards, and I did some countersinking for the screw heads. And then there's no fun building something if you cannot use your lathe. I decided to drill the cross pieces on the lathe. Ernie Conover came up with a jig sometime for drilling into bedposts, I think, and table legs and stuff like this. So I
That's
built
a good idea. That's a good idea. That's very clever.
Yeah, I built a similar jig, and these 2 points are just for getting the jig on the right height and in the right position. And then I put a drill into the drill chuck, removed the tailstock, and just pushed the cross pieces into the drill. And if you have to do lots of cross pieces, then it makes sense to set up a jig like that. And after setting up everything, the drilling process was quite quick.
Nice.
So, and then here you can see one of these cross pieces. I screwed them to the boards, and these are the kind of I don't know what that is in English. The upright pieces.
Yeah, uprights.
Yep. Uprights. The uprights. Okay. I drilled them as well. I had to kind of enlarge my drill press table a little bit, and yeah, I did the drilling, and then I bolted everything together using these, are they coach bolts or these long bolts?
Lag screws. Lag screws.
Yeah. Lag screws, okay. And washers. And they are rather long, so the whole thing is really stable. And the only drawback is you cannot change the position of the boards easily once you have assembled everything and pushed it to the wall, because you can't reach the back of these bolts anymore when the shelves are pushed towards the wall. So I have to do with the distances of the shelves.
Well, my experience over many years of making shelving is that you almost never need to adjust them.
Yeah.
It's you know, people build in adjustment, but it's pointless, really.
Yeah, okay. And after putting everything together, I also screwed or bolted the uprights to the wall. But when everything was loaded, it was so heavy it didn't move anymore. So I think I wouldn't have needed that. And I put some boards under the uprights because I wanted to distribute the weight a little bit, which maybe is not essential or necessary. Yeah, and that's what it looks like at the moment. Or not at the moment, I filled the rest of the spaces as well. But it's really stable, heavy, and I can store lots and lots of wood that I collected over the years in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end, it turned out, even if I have another room for storing wood now, it is too small. Yeah, I collected too much wood. It doesn't take everything. So I came up with the idea to put some of the wood into banana boxes and roll them to the back of the room so I can kind of pull them out. But the problem with banana boxes is that you cannot see what's in there easily. So the shelves are much better. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I did in that regard. I bought some of those wire shelf carts that Costco sells. It's a 3-shelf cart that is on wheels. So it's about the height of that stack of boxes. And I've got 2 of them right now, and I probably will buy a couple more. I can load them up with a lot of wood and move them around and get at them and see what's on there. So that was a pretty good solution, I found. Better than banana boxes.
Yeah, banana boxes isn't the ideal solution. It's cheap, but yeah, it's not ideal. And you have to lift them all the time. They are heavy, and mostly you need what's in the box furthest down, so you have to put all the others off the cart. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm
Bye.
going through.
It looks like you'll have a great estate sale.
That's why I'm going through 40 boxes of books. There's some papers I need in there somewhere. I don't know. I'll show pictures of the carts I've got next week, or try to remember, because it's a good solution for what you're doing there. I can see you got the banana boxes on little flatbed furniture moving dollies or something, and that works. But a cart where you can see everything is better for wood turning blanks, I think, for me anyway.
Hey, John, if you decide to get rid of any of your books, would you let us know? Because a lot of those books, especially some, from 30, 40 years ago even, are hard to find.
Unless you and I talk later, I have a lot of books I'd like to get rid of, and I am getting rid of a lot. A lot of them are going to the library book sale. I can't part with the good old stuff. But I'm sure parting with a lot of recent stuff. I've worked for a lot of publishing companies, and every job I ever had was managing editors and managing artists. And so I would score, I keep a copy of the book. Well, I've got hundreds and hundreds of books from that process over the years, and I just don't need them anymore. They got to go. But if there's something you're looking for, especially turning books, Rich, I have a lot of turning books, and our club has a lot of turning books. I've given a lot to the club. I'll give some more to the club, and I still got more to get rid of.
I'm very interested, so I'll contact you.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like Dave Bleile's got his hand up. What do you have, Dave? You're muted, Dave. There you go.
Yeah, I have a turn cube. I made turning a cube seemed to be popular last year, so I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And I had a friend that was nice enough to cut me about a 4-inch, just about a 4-inch piece of walnut cube. And this comes off, it's a box. However, you don't have to use it that way. With the legs the way it is, you can turn it upside down and use it just as a tray.
So that wasn't a cube so much as a square, was it? I mean, a rectangle.
Yeah, it was a cube. I'll try to do a share, see if I can come up with a share here. Let's go back here. Let's see.
Here we go.
Looks like it's coming up.
Yeah, we're looking at your folder, your thumbnails.
So, there's the cube to start off with that. And notice that
we don't have it yet. We only have
the correct equipment to turn a cube.
Dave, all we're seeing is your thumbnails. We're not seeing the picture yet.
Oh. Okay.
You got to double click it or do something to bring up the photograph.
All right, I'll go back to double clicking it. I did double click. See it now or not?
No.
All right, then we'll forget it.
I think you have to get it up before you do the share.
All right, I got the whole thing up. Okay, well,
stop the share, bring the picture up, and bring the share, and we'll try it again.
Come on here.
I can stop the share.
All right.
I've stopped the share. Now try it again.
Okay, I'll bring the picture up.
Bring the picture up, then share screen.
Okay, and there's the picture is up. Ah. There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
So you start with a full cube.
Yes, and obviously you have 8 corners, so you're shaving off two of the corners, leaves you six corners left, or vertices left. Notice that my tailstock I'm using really wasn't the safest thing to do, but I did it anyways. There it is spinning. You can see the 6 legs that you're going to have when you get done there. There it is unfinished. There it is with still unfinished with spalted maple top. There's the bottom side, seeing about 4 inches in diameter there. Walnut, just used a wipe on poly for that. Yeah, there it is as a
nice.
Yeah, so yep. Thank you.
Wait a minute, go back to that last slide. That's what I want to see. The previous slide.
Oh, the previous or this one here?
That one there. What is going on there?
Yeah. So what I did is I turned a tenon on the one side, and then I have obviously the tenon on the other side. If you look very closely and hold the piece up and look at, you'll see that the thickness of these 2 sides is slightly different. You'll have to, I mean, it's not real obvious when it's sitting down, but any wood turner like yourself would notice that. So now I have the tenon on the far side, the left side, and the chuck, and I made the box part. And
okay, well, this is what's been confusing me as I look at the piece, because you say it's from a cube, but it's clearly not nearly as thick as it is across. So the cube has been reduced to a flatter form, and now I see how you did that and why you did that. I didn't understand that before.
Yeah, yeah, pretty happy with the way things came out. And there it is. Now I have to take off that tenon on the end, so I have just for the portion here is where the box is. So I made a piece of wood to put in the chuck so I could get a friction fit the best I could. I took the friction fit, and then I got rid of the tenon on the far right side, on the tail side. Yeah,
nice piece. Nice work.
Something to do. I don't know if I'd do another one. I have like 3 cubes left, but it came out pretty nicely. Just thought I'd share it. Thanks for your time.
Any comments for Dave and questions for Dave?
That's a really nice, nice box, Dave. I did a demo for that a winged box where it only had 1 set of wings, but we ended up building some cube centering devices that fit in a 50mm chuck, and it centers the cube really simply so that you don't have to fiddle to try and get it absolutely perfectly lined up. It's just a 3D printed disc with a triangle in it, which matches the corner of the cube. You stick it in your chuck, and you just put the cube on. It automatically centers itself, and you put your tailstock on. It's so slick. It makes turning those a lot of fun because the setup is next to nothing.
I think Ron has that too. Has figured that out as a method of doing that.
Yeah, when I was setting it up, I just tried to make sure the corners are hitting the right place, and once I spun around, it looked pretty good. So yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoyed sharing.
Very nice work.
And thank you everyone for all you do and share for us. Certainly enjoy it very much. Thank you, John.
Okay, well, thanks to everybody today. Anybody got a last word? We're right up on the hour. In that case, I'll see you all next week.
Wood shop. Thank God for wood.